welcome to the Sports Grind Season 3, Episode 16. My name's Tyler Wargo, and we're not with Mickey anymore as he went back to Cincinnati, but it was really fun having him for the last few weeks. As we're going to talk about the NFL playoff predictions. We won't be talking about the scores from last weekend, and we're going to be talking about NBA action from last night. So, I know playoffs are finally here. It's kind of crazy, but a lot of games are going to be looking good for this upcoming weekend. So, let's start off with the AFC division, Raiders versus Bengals. I think the Bengals are going to win. Obviously, the Raiders had a really strong end to the season. Rookie Joe Burrow carried LSU to the national championship in 2019, and I definitely believe that he can do that again. I mean, Joe Burrow is the new franchise quarterback for the Bengals, and I definitely think he's going to look strong facing the Raiders this Saturday. Raiders also had a tough season, as it should be interesting to see them pick themselves back up from it. They did pretty well considering that they lost some guys like Henry Ruggs and their coach, considering the allegations that went on. And they're still looking really strong. That's what we love to see. But still, I mean, it's going to be a good game to look at, but the Raiders defensively are not ready for the Bengals offense. Now, the question is, will the Raiders defense will have something new to show when it comes to stopping Joe Burrow in the throwing and running game? And in my opinion, they're going to have to. I mean, this is obviously a team that's really hard to face, and when it comes to defense, they're going to have to have a different play when it comes to stopping the ball, especially against Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. But I definitely think the Raiders have a chance at beating the Bengals, but I mean, when it comes to what we saw from the Bengals this season, it's going to be really hard to see who's going to win. Patriots versus Bills in Buffalo. Now, a lot of people are not going to agree with what I'm going to say right here. I feel like I'm going to get a lot of backlash from saying this, but you know what? I think the Patriots are going to win. Now, why do I say that? Well, we see a lot of shocking wins in the playoffs, and I definitely think this game is going to be one of them. And now, look at this. Josh Allen does not have perfect games all the time. I mean, he has lost some games, and there has been a lot of injuries that the Bills have dealt with this past season, and with them just recovering from it, I mean, they could definitely come back and win, but I don't know. It's going to be really hard to see that. And let's look at this one now. People would say Mac Jones is still not ready for playoff pressure, but I think otherwise. And now, with that being said, Bill Belichick has playoff experience as a coach, and he will definitely help Mac Jones in the playmaking. Obviously, Bill Belichick being used to the playoffs, as a matter of fact, he's used to being in the Super Bowl with Tom Brady. He's helped Tom Brady be as a rookie, and Tom Brady is the man he is today. And I think Mac Jones is going to follow under his footsteps with Bill Belichick, and that's how they're going to beat the Bills this weekend. Steelers versus Chiefs. Chiefs are going to win, no doubt. Steelers, obviously, I'm even shocked they're even in the playoffs. I mean, let's talk about it. Roethlisberger said in the press conference, we are not supposed to be here. And out of 14 teams, we are that 14 team as the underdogs. I mean, he said it. He couldn't say it any perfectly. He knows he could lose, but he knows that if you just play for fun, who knows? He can get that win. But I mean, you're facing Mahomes and you're facing Travis Kelce and the Chiefs defense, so it's going to be super hard for Roethlisberger to get a win. Chiefs are used to playoff pressure. Yes, they did win the AFC title last year. As a matter of fact, they won the Super Bowl 2 years back. So yeah, I mean, Chiefs, they're going to be very confident heading into this game, and they're going to make it hard for the Steelers to pull a win. Mahomes in the running game is unstoppable, so no doubt they'll advance in this one. So now we take over the NFC division, Cardinals versus Rams. No doubt, a lot of people are going to say, a lot of LA fans would say Rams, but no, I'm going to say Cardinals by far. Matthew Stafford is on fire, but I mean, he's just not enough to handle J.J. Watt and the Cardinals defense. Cardinals defense is one of the best defenses in the league, as we saw. And you know, the key players in this game this weekend to look at is DeAndre Hopkins and Sony Michel. Sony Michel, obviously, he's one of the best running backs for the Rams, as well as Odell Beckham. But Odell Beckham, he has not even played that much with the Rams, so he will not have that chemistry in the playoffs. But as for the Cardinals, you got DeAndre Hopkins and you got Chase Edmonds, who has been healthy all season. So I definitely think they're going to be strong heading into this playoffs. And now the question of the game will be, will this game be kept close throughout the game? Yes. I mean, when it comes to playoff time, every player is going to have their A game, and definitely the Rams are going to have Von Miller, Odell Beckham in the lineup. They're even going to have Sony Michel. They're going to have all the great guys on the field, but think about it. You got Kyler Murray going up against Matthew Stafford, so that's no doubt going to be their game And I really think we're going to be seeing a lot from the kickers, from the punters. We're going to be seeing a lot from Matt Gay as well as the punter for the Cardinals. So, yes, it will be kept close, but I definitely think the Cardinals are going to win that one. We now head over to Dallas. 49ers are facing the Cowboys this weekend. Cowboys are no doubt going to beat the 49ers. It's upsetting because the Saints could have made it to the playoffs because they beat the Falcons, but they're not because the 49ers won, because the 49ers had a better record than the Saints. And I'm shocked because, look at this. The 49ers, they had a slow start to the season, and during the regular season, they had an easy schedule besides facing the Rams and the Cardinals. Other than that, they were just picking up easy wins against easy teams. So going up against heavy teams like the Cowboys, it's going to be a real adjustment for the 49ers. And, look at Garoppolo. He missed games this season, so obviously he's going to be a major factor into this game. And if he doesn't have his A game on, the whole team's going to fall. So, yeah, definitely Garoppolo missing games this season, having injuries left and right. It's really going to hurt the 49ers. And obviously, Garoppolo's in the roster heading into this weekend, but it's just, he's new with the team, he's new with the chemistry. As for Dak Prescott, this guy really shined over the offseason. He really put on a show. Him, CeeDee Lamb, and Ezekiel Elliott will be the guys to look at this game. We should be seeing a lot from them, going with the running game and the throwing game. And, the Cowboys defense, too, going up against the 49ers defense. The 49ers defense is actually not even that good compared. They're like one of the least defenses in the league. The only way that the 49ers can get wins is from their offense. So the defense is definitely going to not be able to handle Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. So, yeah, but hey, Cowboys, this is their year. Eagles versus Buccaneers. Buccaneers will win, no doubt, even after losing AB. Tom Brady has done this before, and we should be seeing a lot from him going into the game. And now Jalen Hurts won't even be able to keep up the pressure going with the Buccaneers defense. Obviously, they have Richard Sherman, one of the best cornerbacks in the league, going with the Bucs defense and the receivers on the Eagles. So, the receivers on the Eagles, yes, they're not even that good. They only rely on Dallas Goedert and Miles Sanders, which they don't even have good games. So, if Dallas Goedert and Miles Sanders don't have an A game, then the whole team's not going to be playing that well. The Eagles, I'm kind of looking at them like the 49ers, They got to rely off these two guys, and if they're not doing that well, then they're not going to win. So now I'll give you the predictions for the rest of the playoffs. Obviously, I'm not going to talk about everything, so let's go into the future right now. Let's go into the NFL divisional games. I think Patriots will face the Bengals. Chiefs will face the Titans. Cardinals will face the Cowboys. Buccaneers will face the Packers. And now for the AFC Championship, it will be Bengals versus Chiefs. And I know a lot of people will be disagreeing with me, but I have my facts, I have my reasons. NFC Championship, Cardinals versus Packers. Going to be a great game. Everyone got to watch that. As we got A.J. Dillon and Aaron Rodgers going up against DeAndre Hopkins and Kyle Murray. That will be the game of the week, probably. And then after that, Bengals Super Bowl, Cardinals Super Bowl. Count on it. Who's going to win? Cardinals. Because obviously Cardinals, they have really stepped up to the plate ever since a struggle a couple seasons back. Cardinals are really stepping up. So I definitely think it's going to be Arizona's year. And yeah, the score, I'm not going to be technical with the score, but I'm going to think it's going to be like 31-14. And a lot of people might disagree with me, but that's my prediction. Bengal Cardinals Super Bowl, Cardinals winning 31-14. So now we head over to the NBA action from last night. As the Bucks defeated the Warriors 99-118 in Milwaukee. Bucks were making all the shots in the game. Bucks, obviously, they're going to be going to the playoffs, no doubt. I don't know about the Final Four because let's look at this. The Bucks, they're having some competition. Obviously, the Warriors, they just got back Klay Thompson. So the Warriors, they're not fully done yet. Now, both teams played really well considering that there was a deficit in that game with the 99 versus 118 differential. The player of the game was Giannis Antetokounmpo with 12 rebounds, 11 assists, and 30 points. Giannis Antetokounmpo, we're used to seeing that from him. The guy's tall, the guy can dunk, and the guy's assists too. Look at it, 11 assists working around that Warriors defense. He was spot on. Now, the question is that a lot of Warrior fans want to ask is, can the Warriors bounce back after getting back Klay Thompson? Yes, they can. Klay Thompson obviously did not have that good of a game against the Bucks, but he will. Him and Steph Curry, obviously the splash bros working together. I think it's going to really work out for the team. And also the Warriors have Draymond Green too. I mean, think about it. Draymond Green, once he gets back in the lineup, the Warriors are fully going to have confidence heading into the playoffs. And it's kind of funny because the NBA season started 2 months ago, and we're already looking at the playoffs 2 months away from now. So it's definitely going to get interesting as the Warriors just got back Klay Thompson. As we now move over to the Timberwolves, getting shut out 108 to 116 facing the Grizzlies. Grizzlies, yes, this is what I'm saying. Bucks could be the best in the league, but let's look at the Grizzlies. They're on fire right now. Ja Morant is one of the best in the league right now, and he's just still putting on a show. Pelicans are on a roll as of late after beating the Clippers 113 to 89. I'm finding this shocking. As we know, the Pelicans had a very slow start to the season, and we didn't see this coming. They beat the Warriors, and now they beat the Clippers. Are they actually on to something? And let's look at the record. Pelicans' record is 16-26. The Clippers' record is 21-22. And the Clippers, I mean, they've been losing a lot of games, so now they're keeping their wins and losses consistent now. They're just hanging on. So last night's game, the passing that the Clippers had was very poor. That's kind of why we saw that deficit right there. And yes, we couldn't see improvement. Obviously, Reggie Jackson, he was not getting the points that he wanted. Going with the slot selection, I mean, they're shooting threes. They got to go for layups. They got to count on Reggie Jackson and Kawhi Leonard, and they're just not doing that well. Going with the Pelicans, I mean, they got some rookies, so the question is that a lot of Pelicans are wondering is, can the Pelicans bounce back after a slow start to the season? I mean, they could, but we got to see this consistent. As you know, they have faced a lot of heavy teams. They faced the Jazz, they faced the Suns, and it's not been a shocker that they've been losing. So, yeah, I definitely think the Pelicans can bounce back, but when they face heavy teams like the Jazz, the Lakers, the Warriors, and the Suns, it's going to be really hard for them. But when they face teams like the Clippers, they're going to find it easy to get the win. But in my opinion, they can bounce back, but they're facing hard teams, so it's kind of hard when your division is really good. So Nets took the L 130 to 109 in Brooklyn. Player of the game was rookie Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, as he had 33 points, 10 rebounds, and 9 assists. Now, let's look at the Thunder. I mean, wow, the Thunder have rookies on their team coming out of nowhere, straight out of college and even high school, and they're just putting the shots up, and they're really carrying the Thunder to wins. I found that win shocking considering that the Nets are stacked, and the Thunder, I mean, wow, that's another packed team that you should be keeping an eye out on. They're changing the game right now, so pay attention to the rookies on the Thunder. As for the Nets, the defense was just not there for the Nets, obviously. The shots were just going up left and right for the Thunder. And yeah, so that was the reason for the loss. The Nets defense was not there, but as for the offense, they were making their shots. James Harden still is the guy to look at for the Nets. As for the Thunder, keep an eye out for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Nuggets ended the Trailblazers 108 to 140. Obviously, the Nuggets are still a hot team. They're not as hot as the other teams that we were seeing right now in the NBA league, but still, the Nuggets, they're still that team to look at. Keep an eye out for them. As for the Trailblazers, I don't think it's going to be this season, but let's just say when they get their players back, they can improve. As that will wrap it up for today's Sports Grind, Season 3, Episode 16. So next week, we'll come back with the playoffs as that goes on this weekend. Thank you guys for tuning in, and yeah, bye.